The Artemis II mission marked a historic event in our nation and city's history, but Artemis II isn't done making history yet. Today was the critical moment to officially set the Orion spacecraft and the Artemis II mission for its course toward the moon. Here's a live look. The more than 5-minute process was needed in order to increase the speed of the Orion capsule. That allows it to leave a circular orbit of Earth and move into an oval-shaped orbit to get it close to the moon. Now, NASA said the Orion now has enough power to take its 4 astronauts on a 4-day trip around the moon. The crew expected to return to Earth April 10th. The Alabama legislature also took a moment this morning to celebrate the launch. Here's a listen.
With Artemis being launched this week and what's going on, I think we failed to recognize that a lot of that work that was done, well, most all of the work that was done to put man back to the moon happens right here in Alabama. And we should never take that for granted. And I think it's something that we can be proud of, we can hang our hat on, and as Alabamians, we can brag about.
Certainly something to be proud of. Well, after the historic launch of Artemis II yesterday, the excitement for space isn't slowing down here in the Rocket City. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center now seeing a surge in visitors as people look to get closer to the future of space exploration. Artemis II marks the first crewed mission around the moon in more than 50 years, a major step in NASA's plan to return humans to the lunar surface. With more than 1,000 people at the watch party, the energy at the USSRC continues to build. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala has more.
After yesterday's Artemis II launch, the parking lot at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center is packed. Inside, crowds are pouring in, a clear sign that space enthusiasm is taking off again.
I just ran into a little boy, he's wearing a NASA shirt, and I asked his parents if they'd watched the launch, and they said, oh, absolutely, and that he'd been talking about nothing else.
Cars lining the lot as school groups, teams, and families come to learn more about space. Under NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman, NASA is pushing for more frequent launches, with another Artemis test flight expected next year and a lunar landing targeted for 2028. Pat Ammon, Senior Director of Communications for the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, says that momentum could spark even more interest.
We're really in a new age of space exploration, and I think the administrator is setting a platform for us to do this next launch of the Artemis program, and so I think we're going to get into more of a rhythm as we look to establish a base on the moon and then get ready to journey to Mars.
Space enthusiasm last peaked in the 1960s, with the first moon landing in 1969 and the Apollo missions. Now, a new generation is taking notice. Cameron Cummins says before the launch, she didn't know much about space.
As a chemistry major, I don't really know too much about that world, and it's always good to come and understand and see what they see.
Space in different ages, it can spark interest, innovation, hope, and the younger generation.
The Artemis program is a multi-company effort, with NASA working alongside Boeing, SpaceX, and Blue Origin, among others, to move the phases forward. Ammon says that collaboration is bringing people together around the future of space exploration. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
According to Congress, NASA's fiscal year 2026 budget increased by about $400 million, helping support current and future missions, including at least 30 robotic missions that are part of Artemis III that will help put humans back on the moon.